It's your boy King Key
and Cece,
and you're now rocking with
Kcfamily. Bang bang.
Guys, make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications on so you know we upload new content, which is each and every day, just for you guys, our
KNC family.
Now, if you're a new artist and you're on our platform, hit us up on our social media. Be in the description down below. Click the link, DM us. Bang bang. Y'all already see the title. I know y'all been waiting for this. I know they've been waiting for this.
I was about to say.
I know they've been waiting for this. You know what I'm saying? They already seen part 1. Now this is part 2. And a lot of you, if you want to see more videos like this, you have to show the videos love. And we can't keep doing a video and if you're not showing it the love that you're supposed to drop in comments, mad comments, showing us that you want likes and all that. Run it up. Let us know so we can continue on doing videos like this. You know what I'm saying? And make sure y'all click the link in the description to follow us on our Instagram.
Exactly.
But this one is the story of Shoota Shellz. This is part 2, official video. The official link in the description down below. Shout out to our guys, Chicago scene, man. You already know what it is. Love seeing creators just like us, you know, make moves out here, man. Good thing. There's stuff out here for everybody. I like to see. But let's get into it, man. Part 2.
Cece from No Limit was one of many members who slide almost every day on Black Mob that summer. What he used to do was go lurking on Black Mob territory, and if he saw anyone it was on sight. In order not to be taken by the police or not to be shot himself, he used to hide in stores or barber shops. It worked for the most part. But in the end he was caught after trying to hide in a store, not by the police but by Black Mob, and Shoota Shellz in particular. On June 26, 2013, after sliding on Black Mob, Cece tried to hide in a store but was thrown out by the store owner. Allegedly, SGH, Shawty Head and Shoota Shellz were out at the time and spotted him near the store in the 7500 block of Yates Boulevard. Shoota Shellz allegedly ran up to him and shot him repeatedly in the head and chest before fleeing the scene. Cece, whose real name was Cortez Bailey, was taken in serious to critical condition to Northwestern Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead.
They be wild, man. People get a sense of PTSD living in environments like this, man. That's crazy. Oh no, I'll be paranoid.
Sierra Bailey, Cece's big sister, talked to her little brother earlier that week. She asked if he was okay. She had apparently heard that he and his friends were into it with another group in their South Shore neighborhood. Cece told her not to worry and that people were just tweaking. He was always like that, she said. He did not want us to worry about him, but we did. Cece was the only son in the family and the youngest of the 3 children. According to the sister, Cece was no stranger to violence. He had seen people shot before and even saw when his best friend was shot dead in 2010. When the family got the call that Cece had been shot, they rushed to the hospital. After doctors notified them Bailey was dead, his mother asked if they could reattach him to the life support machines, just to see if they could bring him back. Bailey's mother remembered her son as smart and handsome. He was a loving uncle who was always available to babysit, his sister said, and his mother said Bailey was a respectful kid even if he got too involved with the world. This was the start of 2 bloody months in the summer of 2013. Only 4 days later, another life would be taken, and another family would mourn. This time it would slam in the other direction. Jordan from Black Mob, whose real name was Jordan Jefferson, was standing outside in the 2400 block of East 75th Street in the South Shore neighborhood. Allegedly, Crazy James, Mad Max and Cairo, all from No Limit, were out and spotted him, and allegedly ran up to him and shot him in his head 3 times. Jordan was tragically pronounced dead at the scene.
Crazy James. Let's get straight to the point with that name. Mad Max.
Jordan had recently been paroled after serving time for a drug-related charge which he was arrested for in 2011, and was seeking guidance from a pastor before he was killed. Like I said, Jordan was shot in the head in the 2400 block of East 75th Street at about 3:20 p.m. He was pronounced dead on the scene from multiple gunshot wounds. Down the street from where he lay covered in a sheet, a woman screamed, "He's my brother," as friends hugged her. Isaac Whitman, pastor at the Greater Metropolitan Church of Christ, said Jordan came to him in the last few days. He stood as the man's friends made a memorial near the scene of the shooting right outside his church. Isaac says Jordan came to him that week and said he would come to church on Sunday. Sunday morning, Jordan was waiting for Whitman at the church and helped him carry supplies into the office. He attended the service, but expressed uncertainty about joining the church, Whitman said. After the service, Jordan and Whitman's son walked to a corner store. "I heard the pop pop pop, 3 bullets, Whitman said. "I saw the man land from a distance." According to the pastor, a bullet was close to hitting his son. Fortunately it did not. 3 days after the murder of Jordan, it turned the other way again in Black Mob, but especially Shoota Shellz would get revenge for Jordan, Lucky, D-Bone and Rayvon, but especially Hakeem, because they caught his alleged killer, Pistol P from No Limit, and it is rumored again to have been Shoota Shellz together with Shotty Hit along with another guy named AWOL from Black Mob. It is rumored that Shoota Shellz, AWOL and Shotty Hit were out sliding, looking to get back after the death of Jordan. They spotted Pistol P around 6:50 p.m. in the 2400 block of East 79th Street. They braked the car. AWOL and Shoota Shellz then allegedly jumped out of the car and shot Pistol P in the back, who tried to run as soon as he saw them jump out of the car. Pistol P ran around the corner into the 7900 block of South Phillips Avenue and collapsed. Pistol P, whose real name was Rayford Brown, was later pronounced dead at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Only 25 days later it was time again for Black Mob to score on NLMB, and it was none other than Shoota Shellz again who was the alleged killer. This would be his 3rd body that summer. Shoota Shellz, along with Shotty Hit and SGH, really terrorized NLMB and gave them a hard time. That's why NLMB hates him so much. Those 3 used to literally come through and shoot up No Limit almost every day.
Wow.
Pocket Town, MTG, Lakeside, KTS and other sets did the same, with people like KTS Vaughn, Spook, Denny G, Pasto and Dre in the lead. No Limit was literally attacked from all sides around Terror Town, yet they still managed to keep up with most of the beefs, much thanks to the fact that they were so deep. That way No Limit often outlasted most of their enemies. It was like Lil Bibby says in the intro, people used to come through and shoot up their block every day.
Lucky he got to get out of there.
Yeah, even though he still was in the middle of that war,
Yeah.
he still managed, man. Lil Bibby too. They from the same area. Some of us get lucky coming out the hood, man. Y'all know. Some of us don't. why I feel like we get chosen. You use your life wisely.
Because people used to come through shooting us every day. This block, words can't even explain, man. Can't even explain.
Like I said, 25 days later it was time again. On July 29th, 2013, Shoota Shellz, once again with shoddy hit, was allegedly out looking for enemies in Terrortown, mostly from No Limit. They went to 79th Street and Oglesby Avenue, which is neither No Limits nor Black Mob area. However, it is not very far from No Limit's hood. They spotted Richie Rich from No Limit. Shoota Shellz emerged from an alley and allegedly shot Richie Rich in his head and neck multiple times, before fleeing the crime scene along with shoddy hit. Richie was taken to South Shore Hospital in serious condition, and was later tragically pronounced dead. Richie Rich, whose real name was Richard Pierce, was an older member of No Limit, 30 years to be exact. According to rumors, he was definitely not a bystander and was heavily connected to No Limit, and did the same thing as Alama from No Limit, namely teaching younger members to sell drugs.
She bitch.
30 years young, man.
Just a week later, after No Limit's loss of Richie Rich, they lost another member, Kobe, who was allegedly killed by Kcfamily, Rio and Pasto. If you want to know more about it, you should check out the history of Kcfamily. 1 week after the loss of Kobe, however, No Limit would get their revenge on Black Mob after the murder of Richie. They did so by killing one of Black Mob's older members, 34-year-old Eric. Eric was standing in a parking lot with one other man on the 7400 block of South Colfax Avenue. According to rumors, it was Crazy James and Mad Max who were out that night driving around in a light-colored SUV, looking for Black Mob members. They spotted Eric and Mad Max open fire from inside the car. Eric sustained wounds to his back and leg and was taken to Northwestern Memorial Hospital where he later died. A small group of people watched from a store across East 75th Street. One man, who declined to be named, said he recognized Eric from around the neighborhood. He wasn't in no gang, the man said. He just had a baby. However, Eric was a known gang member to the police. A woman standing in the group said the area has seen a lot of shootings over the summer.
Crazy James. His name, gonna remember his name. Why don't you ever say ball like from Kobe?
After the murder of Eric, the war calmed down for about a year and a half. There was a reason for that, for in 2014 Shoota Shellz was locked up for a gun, much thanks to a girl he lived with at the time. Shoota Shellz lived with a girl in Black Mob's area, 74th and Phillips. The apartment of course contained drugs and weapons, and since Shoota Shellz was a high priority for the police after the murders in 2013, the police wanted to put him away in some way. They could find sufficient evidence of the murders, so they decided to raid her apartment where he lived. But in order to do this, they had to get a permit for the girl, which they got. This allowed them to find weapons and drugs that they could put on Shoota Shellz, which resulted in Shoota Shellz getting locked up, and not coming out until either the end of 2015 or the beginning of 2016. Because the war with Black Mob calmed down in 2014, No Limit concentrated on the war with MTG.
The Candyman. The urban legend is, if you say his name 5 times while looking in the mirror, he appears in the...
Now we come to the war between Black Mob and ABK. When exactly the problems started between Black Mob and ABK is very unknown. However, it was before the murder that really started the war in the end of May 2014 that we will get to it soon. ABK were actually Black Mob's allies once upon a time. They never fought against No Limit but remained neutral in the war, but they were still more cool with Black Mob. However, that would change. ABK came closer to NLMB after a few years, and many within ABK had personal problems with other Black Mob members, which made them start to get cool with NLMB. Of course, this made Black Mob feel some type of way. They felt that ABK was starting to lean more towards NLMB. In the end, this led to a series of shootings between ABK and Black Mob, and in the end of May 2014, the war would really pop off between the two gangs. As the war had calmed down between No Limit and Black Mob, and as No Limit focused more on MTG, Black Mob began to focus on ABK. Black Mob came through and shot up ABK several times at the beginning of 2014, which resulted in ABK going into a counterattack and killing Shoota Shellz's brother. Just as I said before, Shoota Shellz got locked up in early 2014. This calmed the war with No Limit, and Black Mob could instead focus on the new war with ABK. While Shoota Shellz was locked up, he tragically lost his blood brother, King Scoops. However, it was not No Limit who killed him as many believed from the beginning. The guy who allegedly killed him was from ABK, which means that it was ABK who drew the first blood in the war with Black Mob. King Scoops, whose real name was Craig Mitchell, was standing outside in the 2400 block of East 74th Street at 12:30 p.m. near 74th and Phillips Avenue, which is Black Mob's territory. According to rumors, Yogi from ABK was out looking for Black Mob members. He spotted Scoops and allegedly ran up to him, with no second thoughts, and shot him multiple times before fleeing the scene. Scoops, who was only 21 at the time, was tragically pronounced dead at the scene at 1:03 p.m. Scoops was known to the police as a gang member, and to the street as a shooter and killer. Many have speculated that Scoops was killed by an ABK member because many have believed that Scoops killed someone from ABK. However, this is not true. According to rumors, he has a body on another set on the east side, but it was not ABK. It has also been rumored to have been involved in 1 or 2 murders of No Limit members. However, the reason he was killed by ABK is alleged to be due to personal issues Scoops had with Lil Fame and Yogi from ABK. What the problems were is unknown. 4 months after the murder, Lil Fame was actually killed but not by Black Mob. He was killed by Davey and Robert from 078 BNC Cole's mob. They were later convicted of the murder of 16-year-old Fame.
I heard that one. That's a new one. You know, right? He looked like his brother too. Never heard it said BNC.
The murder of Scoops took an incredible toll on his brother Shoota Shellz, who was locked up when Scoops was killed, really suffered in prison. Imagine being locked in behind walls and hearing that your blood brother has been shot dead. In addition, by people with whom you were once allied with. Shoota Shellz could not do anything. You can compare it to when King Von lost Roy while being locked up. These are the results of being in the street. You will lose loved ones. Another person who took Scoops' death very hard was Shawty Hit, who many have actually speculated to have also been Shoota Shellz and Scoops' blood brother as well. Some say, however, that it is not true, but whether it is true or not, they were just like brothers. Following the murder of Scoops, it is alleged that Shawty Hit once again went on a murder spree, and once again it was on No Limit. In 2015, Shawty Hit was truly Black Mob's main shooter. About 7 months after the murder of Scoops, it is rumored that Shawty Hit killed Molly from NLMB. About a year later it was time again. Shawty Hit had now caught his 4th or 5th body after allegedly killing One Eye from No Limit. Shawty Hit was really going crazy, and was without a doubt one of the biggest threats against both No Limit and ABK, especially against ABK after the murder of Shoota Shellz, which we will come to later.
Crazy, they be going crazy, man. That's one
Short.
Listen, man. These stories, man. You know, it's one thing to see the artist. Well, Shellz wasn't really an artist. Was he? Wasn't like really an artist, but he did music. Finally, I don't know like if he took it serious though. But that's the only song we heard was the 150
That's
Death
the
of
one. Oh, yeah,
150.
girl.
So it's like he wasn't really an artist. I think he just did that song. Maybe he was, but I don't think he took it serious, you know? But when you get to see these artists and get to know more of their backstory, like after you already heard their song, but then you go back to their backstory, you be like, man, a lot of these people like they really did it because of this and or because of that or because of this. Like and it's like when you start hearing they testimonies and their stories and their documentaries and all that, start to really take consideration and thinking like, wow, it's sad on both sides. Like it don't nobody cares how gangster, how many people you got, how many bodies you got. It's sad because everybody's losing. Like just because you put his person down on his side, you got mad people put down on your side. Like y'all both losing. There's no win. Like I heard about scoreboards and all this. I used to think like, oh wow, they keeping scoreboards. Oh, that's crazy. When we got into the Chicago scene, like doing reviews on Chicago and really looking at it on this channel. But then as I started to go deep and deep, me and Cece, we start to realize like, wow, like forget a scoreboard. Your friends are dying. Like, yeah, you got 5 of theirs and you happy, but 5 of yours is gone too, or 10 of theirs and 15 of yours is gone. It's like tit for tat. Like it's I don't have no words to say, but it's crazy. These guys, there's no remorse. Like your man's is still gone. The mom or the family from the one that passed away from your side, even though that's your bro, but his family buried him, and they gotta live with that their child, their son, is never coming back. And yeah, you may be sliding and you may be joyriding and all that, but making music about it, but at the end of the day, the mothers are still lost. Like they still lost their child and their kids. Like from every side. Like, come on, man. Like I get it, you getting stripes, you getting points in the hood. But when is it cool that when your man's dying and you get like and you still over here celebrating popping champagne, your man is gone. Like there should not be no more rapping. I'm just saying, most of these guys don't rap. I'm talking about the ones that rap. It should not be no more rapping. If you are rapping about drilling and your mans and them die, even though you got the scores and all that, I feel like you shouldn't be rapping. Like you already proved yourself. You should be rapping about something totally different. Like you can still rap about women and what you've been through, but you should not be drilling on music anymore. You can still make drill music, beats and all that, but you shouldn't be talking about drilling on another person, name dropping, and all of a sudden you lost 5 people already. And the only thing that's missing is you, right? You're the only one that's missing as an artist. You gonna be gone. I feel like so far being on the drill scene is so sad to a point where I know that everybody that we have covered doing reactions and reviews to, 9 times out of 10, most of the artists that we do on the drill scene, which is sad to say, are going to be gone within the next 10 years. It's sad to say it, but nobody's saying it. And if they are saying it, they're right. Because at the end of the day, give 10 years, a lot of these rappers that's doing drill, and I mean really drilling. I'm not talking about the ones that doing drill for entertainment. Those guys, they're going to forever be in the industry because they're not actually in the street with it. That's the difference between the street guys that's really doing it. They really doing it and they put it on music, but they actually live in it. So by the time they even get to blow and break bread with their family and their team and move their family and their friends away from different bad neighborhoods, they're gone. They already got murdered. It's sad, but comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. This is part 2 of Shoota Shellz, man. Every time I look at these type of videos, it just makes me like, I don't know, I feel type of way when it comes to these situations because, you know, I'm not from Chicago, I'm from New York, and I lost people through gun violence, through family and friends that I actually really know. And it's sad because it's like, we in New York, we don't go out and we don't slide. Like we don't We don't, and if we are, we're not glorifying it. We don't want to slide. We don't want to go and look for hunting for that. We doing it because of the pain. And the thing is, at the end of the day, when the person that we finally get is gone, it doesn't change the fact that we still lost somebody from outside and we never getting them back. Even though it makes you even, still feeling that pain. That's it. It's nothing, so I get it, but RP to all the individuals that was in this doc right here, man, this story, Shoota Shellz, man. I want to see more parts just like this or more videos like this. All you gotta do is leave a comment, run up the video. Keep supporting the channel, man. Buy merch, do what you gotta do. Follow us on Instagram. Follow our other channels as well. We love the support out there, Kcfamily. This is not just a YouTube channel. This is an actual company. This is an actual brand, and we take our brand very serious. So if you really rock with us, you already know what to do. Back-to-back game. Run the numbers up. This your boy King Key
and Cece.
You're now rocking with
Kcfamily.
Bang
Bang bang.
And we out, guys. Peace.
No way, Jose.